A historic piece of the White House is disappearing. Demolition of the East Wing has begun, making way for President Trump's new $250 million ballroom. Franklin Roosevelt constructed the primary structure of the East Wing in 1942, and it's long served as the main entry point for guests and tourists. It was designed as a graceful passage toward the White House residence, lined with portraits of First Ladies and framed to the south by the Jacqueline Kennedy Garden. Beyond its historic halls, the East Wing also houses the office of the First Lady and the White House Social Office. The White House on Monday started tearing down part of the East Wing to build President Donald Trump's ballroom. The Republican president has said he's adding a 90,000 square foot ballroom because the East Room, the largest room in the White House with an approximately 200-person capacity, is too small. Trump said the ballroom will fit 999 people.
If President Donald Trump didn't wait until after this weekend's massive No Kings protests, you can't help but wonder if he didn't wait until these protests were already done before today he started literally physically tearing down the White House. This is not AI. That is a real thing. I mean, the No King's Day protests saw 7 million Americans turning out in the streets, coast to coast, protesting against him this weekend. Imagine how many millions more there might have been if we had seen these images on Friday instead of him starting to do this today. Trump literally today sent a rental backhoe to physically rip down the East Wing of the White House. Okay. He's already paved the Rose Garden. Literally, he paved it. That's the Rose Garden, except, oh no, it's a patio at a Panera in a strip mall. He paved the Rose Garden. He took up parts of the White House lawn to put up huge flagpoles so he could fly novelty-size American flags over the White House to make it look like it's an RV dealership that's going out of business. He hung cheap gold decorations all over the Oval Office, just random little gold gewgaws to make it look like a Hilton Hotel banquet room in 1992 before the renovation. He tried to give away Eisenhower's sword as like a hostess gift to a foreign head of state. The head of the Eisenhower Presidential Library resigned in protest and said he wouldn't do it, right? So this is how the man is treating the legacy, the physical legacy of the presidency of the United States. So maybe we should have seen it coming, right? Especially after he promised everybody this summer that to build this new ballroom he wants for himself, he promised this summer overtly that the construction of the new ballroom wouldn't affect anything else at the White House. He said everything else would be left intact. It, quote, won't interfere with the current building. As soon as he said that, we should have imagined him rolling the backhoes up to the White House to start literally ripping it down, which is what happened today. We should have known, but still nothing can quite prepare you for the sight of him actually doing it. Absolutely amazing. Surprise! Donald Trump is literally destroying the people's house because apparently he thinks it's his house and not ours, and I'm guessing he has no intention of moving out of it ever.
There you have it. Donald Trump demolished part of the White House today. And can we just say that this is entirely symbolic of everything that this administration is doing to this country? Donald Trump is building a ballroom for $250 million during a government shutdown when people are not being paid and 23 million Americans are waiting to find out whether or not they're going to be able to afford their health care. He's building a $250 million ballroom that nobody wants. He promised it would not disturb one nail on the original structure of the White House. And look at this. Look at this. This is a perfect metaphor for Donald Trump himself. He gets into our government and he destroys things. And that is all he knows how to do. Remember Lyndon Johnson saying anybody can tear down a barn, but it takes a carpenter to build one? This is Donald Trump tearing down not just a barn, but the White House. And not just the White House, but our institutions, our courts, our administrations, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, tearing down things that have cared for Americans sometimes for 50 years. This is what he does. He is a person who tears down after he's promised not to. Donald Trump respects nothing. He grabs anything he wants by the you-know-what. This is what he's doing to our entire country right now. And those of you who still can't see it, just wait. Next thing you know, something you care about so deeply will be gone just like this, and it can never be replaced.
Can the president actually demolish or remodel the White House? Technically, no. The White House doesn't belong to the president. It's federal property managed by the National Park Service and maintained by taxpayer money. So, while a president can pick the furniture, colors, or decorations, any major changes like tearing down walls or rebuilding require congressional approval and federal funding, according to the White House Historic Association and the National Park Service. The last time that happened was during Harry Truman's presidency, when the building was literally falling apart. Congress approved a full reconstruction in the late 1940s. But here's the twist. Under President Trump, a $200 to $250 million ballroom addition to the East Wing is underway, a 90,000 square foot expansion. The administration says the work can proceed because it's privately funded. The head of the National Capital Planning Commission, appointed by Trump, has said the demolition and site prep don't need commission approval, since the jurisdiction only covers vertical construction. But critics argue that still violates federal preservation rules. Since the White House is a National Historic Landmark, federal law requires that major renovations follow preservation standards set by the National Historic Preservation Act and oversight by the Advisory Council on Historic Preservation. So, even if it's privately funded, it raises the question, can any president really make changes to the People's House? Should a sitting president have that kind of power? Share your thoughts in the comments.
So let me just send this message to anybody who has the standing to sue, the law firms that are out there, the state attorney generals. Go and seek an injunction to block this construction. The argument that you should make is that Donald Trump engaged in fraud in saying that he alone was going to pay for it and that it wasn't going to impact in any way the existing structure. The emergency basis for your injunction is the photograph that we showed, that they just damaged the actual White House and they're destroying the East Wing, which is a violation. Get a court to enjoin or block further construction until such time as there's discovery in a transparent way who is funding this thing. Make the order, demand discovery, and then address the issues of the illegality, that it is a violation of Article 1 of the Constitution. That's the argument you need to make. Go and make it. I'm someone who leads a media network, okay? I'm not a practicing lawyer anymore. I don't do these things anymore. But please, somebody who's watching this, okay? Do what I just said and do it because it's the patriotic thing to do and it's the right thing to do because laws are being violated right now by Trump as a result of this destruction of the White House. Got it?
So we demolished the White House to distract from Epstein.
This is Fallen. I'm on the run over the resort. Payload armed.
Copy that. Clear to drop.
Roger. Releasing the gift.
It's everywhere! Who in the world did this? Look at me!
2 points. The first thing is that this is not about money. There is enough money to bail out Argentina with $20 billion. There is enough money to purchase a brand new aircraft for $173 million for the Homeland Security Secretary. There is enough money to renovate the White House ballroom. What there's not enough money for under this Republican government is you. There's not enough money for you. And it is astonishing to me that the party in charge of the government literally won't show up to work during the second longest shutdown in American history. House Republicans have been gone for more than a month. More than a month. They've worked 2 weeks out of the last 3 months. Nice work if you can get it.
This is just the beginning, and people have to understand our democracy is being taken away from us. And we only have about a year, just to be clear about this. And people, you're doing a great job and a lot of other people are doing a good job to tell people what is actually happening in this country. But make no mistake, we have a year before this country becomes a full-on autocracy and democracy completely leaves us. And we're looking at the election in 2026, and Donald Trump knows, he knows that in a free and fair election, he will lose. He will lose the House. The House will flip and will become into Democratic hands. There'll be committee chairs that'll be able to hold hearings. And this is the last thing he wants. So this little, these ICE agents and the National Guard, and now he's called the military in from all over the world to talk to them about, don't be surprised when polling booths are surrounded by American military in the guise of making sure that the elections are fair and that nobody's tampering with anything. And when you see violence breaking out, which there'll be protests, there'll be inciting violence, there'll be some violence, and they'll kick back. Then you'll see the commandeering of voting machines, ballot boxes, to make sure that that election is secure. Well, what that means is that he will then commandeer the election. So we have to make the public absolutely aware that their democracy is being taken from them. And we have to do everything we can to make sure people understand that. People don't, it's a vague term, democracy. It's like, what does that mean? The Constitution, we don't know what that means. People care about their pocketbook issues, the price of eggs, they care about their health care, and they should. Those are the things that directly affect them. But if they lose their democracy, all of these rights, the freedom of speech, the freedom to pray,
I think banana republics around the world are laughing at us now, saying, man, we may be a corrupt government, but we could never get away with the shit that Trump is getting away with. I think banana republics are laughing at us. You know, Kim Jong-un and Putin are probably saying, man, we're some ruthless dictators, but we don't pull shit like Trump's pulling.
President, I've come to the Senate floor tonight to ring the alarm bells. We're in the most perilous moment, the biggest threat to our republic since the Civil War. President Trump is shredding our Constitution. Is it okay for mass federal agents to arrest people off the street because of their skin color or their accent? No way, not in a free America.
Public street, man.
Watch our back! Watch our back!
If it's against... No! Mommy! You guys cannot take her!
Look! Why? It's illegal! Look! It's pregnant! It's pregnant!
We'll smash the window out and drag him out.
Hey, you can't do that!
There's a child!
across the street from the Capitol, where a large ice sculpture has been installed by the artist Ligorano Reese, a 5-foot tall, 17-foot wide, 3,000-pound ice sculpture. And the point of the sculpture, I'm being told by the artist, is that democracy is actively melting in front of us right now.
Our democracy is melting when the Justice Department is weaponized to bring fake prosecutions against the enemy of the president. Our democracy is melting when the Defense Department bombs ships based on fabricated or unknown claims that would be illegal even if true. Our democracy is melting when the National Guard is illegally deployed on our streets. Our democracy is melting when today this U.S. Supreme Court seems poised to undermine the Voting Rights Act, arguably the most important protection for our democracy since the Civil War.
And time after time, people like my ancestors fought to make democracy real, and America continued to fight back.
That part.
In this moment, the Supreme Court will hear a case seeking to further erode voting rights. In this moment, gerrymandering is making it more difficult for people's voices to be heard. Politicians are choosing people, and people are not choosing politicians.
I had the distinct honor to speak to the chairman, Dr. Fred Hampton Jr. yesterday. And some of the stuff he was saying is identical to what you just said, which is democracy has always been a facade in this country. Talk to us about what do you think happens now?
What I hope is that people understand how fragile democracy is, how I like the language of facade, and it doesn't have to be this way. We've got the power to make this something else. I think one of the challenges is, and I get this from the chairman's father, Fred Hampton, that you can only keep what you have the power to keep. We can do more and can do better. I will never believe that this is the end, but we have to get up, organize, and not be afraid to build coalitional power.
We will not lose heart. The true function of freedom is to free somebody else. Let freedom ring.
You repeated the phrase, true freedom is?
The purpose of true freedom is to free somebody else, and that is coming from one of the greatest novelists of the 20th century, and that was Toni Morrison. You know, people who are gathered here, the artists, first of all, who took their incredible talent and time to sculpt that, to No More King's Day. Those people who are involved in those movements understand that in order for them to be free, to enjoy happiness, you got to be willing to free somebody.
Okay, everyone, you know how much I despise Kristi Noem. She is a horrible person. But I was scrolling Instagram. I found the cutest AI video of her as a baby.
Bang! Bang! Bang!
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John.